What is up, everybody? How's it going? Ryan here, back with you again for another episode of The Morning Coffee for April 18th, 2019. This is episode number 37 of The Morning Coffee. I hope that all of you guys are doing really good today, and I hope that everything is treating you well. Last episode of the week as well, so we'll see you guys next Tuesday if you haven't. If you're not going to be sticking around for other podcasts on the website as well. We have a handful of just random articles to go through, a lot of them just being PSAs, a mixture of other news and stuff like that. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Before I really get into it or whatever, I want to make an announcement that this is kind of a last minute type of thing. But if you guys didn't know, there is a game. It's pretty popular. It came out about 3 to 4 years ago. It is called Transistor, and it is actually the free game to claim on the Epic Game Store, and it is free from today, April 18th, until May 2nd. Now, this game is pretty easy to run if you want to get it. It's dual core, 4 gigs of RAM. I mean, everyone's computer should be able to run this or whatever. It is free for no cost, and you download it once and get to keep the game forever. It is also priced normally on Steam for $19.99 or $20. So just an FYI PSA for you guys, you should probably check. I don't really like the Epic Game Store. We've talked about this multiple times on the podcast, but they do offer some free games before this day announced, like Slime Rancher, Subnautica for free and stuff like that. They've been still doing that and offering new games for people to, I guess, try to install their thing. So if you guys want to, go over to your Epic Game Store, aka your Epic Game Launcher, where you have Fortnite probably installed, and download Transistor. Once again, that is free until May 2nd. Next up, though, on the list, because that wasn't one of the things that was on my podcast show notes here, we do have 13 details revealed about Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is something that I do want to cover and kind of check out and see the progress of it, since it seems to be one of the biggest hits that might be coming in 2019, regardless of the controversy of it being on the Epic Game Store. But they revealed a bunch of details on Twitter, a lot of just other stuff. Local co-op has been confirmed. There will be offhanded melee weapons, but a bajillion guns. There'll be locations in a variety of sizes, larger endgame than even Borderlands 2. It's a lot of stuff that that is obviously like obvious or whatever, right? About like the game, it's gonna be bigger and better than Borderlands 2. Well, obviously it's a sequel. Borderlands 3 will be playable offline. One of the things that I kind of wanted to take away from this, which is kind of coming back to the Epic's Game Store, is that they can't promise crossplay just yet. And for me, that's very concerning. We've talked about this a bunch of times about this or whatever, but we don't know what that means. We don't know if that, because the thing is, now that the Epic Game Store has its own client and then the Steam client now, and it's kind of like exclusivity on both ends. If you guys didn't know, Borderlands 3 will be on the Epic Games Store for about 6 months, and then it will transition to the Steam Store and other platforms as well to be open. They haven't confirmed if even those are going to be cross-play, which is kind of concerning, right? So for people who are like, I really don't want to download the Epic Games Store, I will be on Steam. It's one of those things where, okay, that's fine, but if the Steam Store is not able to be cross-played with the Epic Game Store people, that might be an issue. If a lot of my friends who don't really care, I'm kind of neutral in the situation, but I did want to bring light to that or whatever. But it does kind of suck for a lot of people that might be the case, and it seems like that might be the case, which would make sense if they're trying to push more people to just buy the game on the Epic Games Store. They also said that they won't be making the confirmed it won't be making the Luxie's Space Adventure DLC for the pre-sequel, and that a lot of the like the DLCs and stuff for the pre-sequel and a bunch of their other Borderlands games are kind of going to be put on halt, and all future content will be focused on Borderlands 3. And then they also said that apparently there is a mobile game called Borderlands Legends. It won't be developed to focus on the main game. It'll be like its own kind of separate storyline. This is a game that is not really surprising to me, but is surprising to a lot of other people. But it looks like it's going to be a game that is going to try to compete at least with the Diablo Immortals franchise and the mobile action RPG franchise. Highly recommend, though, checking this article out. It's pretty short, and there's verified tweets and stuff like that to show you where they got their sources from. Next up, Ninja, the Twitch streamer, has made Time's most influential list for 2019, which I thought was kind of interesting. But Fortnite streamer Tyler Ninja Blevins is what's known in the business as an influencer, but he's more than just average run-of-the-mill guy. On YouTube, according to Time, he stands with Brie Larson, The Rock, Nancy Pelosi, etc. But they have a 2-paragraph profile was written by Julia Smith, basically, it's just kind of crazy to see how much Fortnite has blown up and Twitch has blown up in general. But apparently, Ninja made the Times top 100 most influential people of 2019, probably also of 2018, I would assume. I will say this, and I know that Ninja has like a lot of controversy for selling out or being like a kiddie type of streamer or being family friendly. I will say this though, and I know that this probably goes against a lot of the views of Twitch in general. But I feel like if we had any other representative represent Twitch in a sense, to try to get Twitch into the mainstream, which there's arguments on both sides that people may not want Twitch to be more mainstream or people don't because people want it to kind of be like this gaming kind of culture. You know, at the end of the day, Ninja's a pretty upstanding guy. And regardless of what you think of his streams or his content, at least for me, I really respect him when he's in interviews, when he's talking to people and explaining Twitch. He explains it in a very professional way, and he explains it in a very good way, and also makes very good counterpoints to, you know, what if my kid wants to become a content creator or something like that? His responses are very mature and very good. I feel like he's a good representation of what Twitch could possibly be, and I feel like if they had chosen anyone else, or if anyone else had really blown up like Ninja, I don't know how the timeline would be. If I can imagine some streamers just kind of spiraling out of control or not caring or just kind of going crazy. And there are streamers that are now bigger than him, right? And some of them have even tried to move or have gotten forced into the mainstream spotlight. And it's usually not for like great things, right? It's usually for like subpar things that make the older generation or even just normal people who don't really play games go like, typical gamer. So, at the end of the day, it's pretty impressive that Ninja is on the influential persons list for Times. At the same time, I'm not too surprised with the way he carries himself and stuff as well. So, congrats to him. It's some huge, pretty big, changing news as well. Next up, and I just thought this was really, really funny. So one of the things I do want to do with this podcast is I don't want to focus just purely on gaming. I kind of want this to evolve eventually into a morning news segment where we just kind of go over some articles that we thought are interesting, but still kind of have some links to the gaming world, whether that be conventions, whether that be tech in the gaming industry, and one of those things being the Samsung Galaxy Fold. So this is something that was announced quite a ways back, maybe about 4 to 5 months ago now at this point, but this is the Samsung Galaxy Fold. If you guys don't know what this is a foldable phone. It basically looks like 2 iPhone 4s just connected together, and when you close it, it has a 4.5 inch display, and when you open it, it turns into like a 7.5 inch tablet or whatever. The phone is very, very early tech from what I've seen from it. I'm not a huge Samsung fan. I just don't like their UI. Currently, I'm running a OnePlus 6 right now with pure stock Android, which I really, really, really like. But besides the UI issues, the phone is very expensive. It's something like $1,980 for just the cheapest model of this phone. And tech reviewers have been getting this phone a lot, and the reviews have been kind of like, this is really, really cool, but it's obviously early tech, and we hope to see what the future of foldable phones has or whatever. Apparently, you can feel the crease on the phone and stuff like that, and a bunch of different stuff. But apparently, a bunch of the early adopters, which are basically just tech influencers, have said that they've had some serious issues with their review units so far. But it seems like a lot of them have said that the unit screen has like started flickering, etc., just randomly or whatever, and that they would investigate the reports. Mark Gunnerman said that his display just came like straight up busted, or not busted, but apparently he took off a protective film layer that is on the phone, and when he closed his phone, the phone just immediately just snapped and broke or whatever. It says, when I tap the screen as well with the top of my finger and the fingernail hits it, very common. It also leaves a seemingly permanent indent. Samsung is going to send a replacement, and I'll share updates. He says the phone comes with this protective layer / film. Samsung says you are not supposed to remove it. I removed it not knowing you're not supposed to. The consumer won't know either. It appeared removable in the left corner, so I took it off. I believe this contributed to the problem. I know that a lot of you guys can't tell, but apparently on the device as well or whatever, it apparently comes with a protective coating that you're not supposed to remove. It says there's a layer that appears to be a screen protector on the Galaxy Fold display. It is not a screen protector. Do not remove it, is what MKBHD said. But he did say that he's got so far he's gotten peeling on the phone because of the crevices and stuff like that. And the original tweet from Mark Gurman also says this as well. It says there's a very small tear at the top part of the hinge. After I poked at it and the screen got worse, I thought perhaps it was another removable layer. Tear may have been caused by removing it, blah blah blah. But yeah, apparently because of the crease, there's just like wear and tear that happens because you're obviously folding and closing and opening and opening a phone. But there is something on the box that says the main screen includes a special protective layer. Peeling off this protective layer or using any adhesives on the main screen, such as a screen protector or stickers, may cause damage or whatever. So yeah, it is unclear how this phone, if this is like a widespread issue or if this is something that's super common. But yeah, it's a $2,000 phone, and apparently you can't add your own screen protector to it, and you need to keep the actual custom film that is on there on. But it does seem to be a removable film, which is kind of really weird. I'm not really sure. I mean, the tech's probably not there to just kind of like lay something like that down or whatever, but it seems like that's eventually going to get hit with like wear and tear. I don't know. It's really cool tech. I don't like the Samsung UI on it though. I wish it just had some type of stock Android, but obviously that's not going to happen with Samsung. But I do feel like the tech is a little bit too early to market right now. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with that phone. Next up, and this is just some type of PSA, but if you guys didn't know, there was a tragedy that happened at Notre Dame, which is a church in Paris, where unfortunately there was a devastating fire that burned most of it down, or at least caused substantial damage to it. Apparently it was a construction fire or some type of accidental fire, but apparently the company Ubisoft has pledged to donate 500,000 euros, I guess, to help with the restoration and the reconstruction of the building. They also said that they will be giving out Assassin's Creed Unity for free. Apparently, that one is I don't know, set in France, I guess. Apparently, it's not a very good Assassin's Creed, but it is one of the ones that are set in France. But they said that video games can enable us to explore places in ways we never could have. Otherwise, we hope with this small gesture we can provide everyone with an opportunity to appreciate our virtual homage to this monumental piece of architecture. So if you guys do have Uplay, which is Ubisoft's own launcher, you can go and download Assassin's Creed Unity from their launcher for free at the moment. Apparently, though, when the game did come out, it had really bad reviews. So keep that in mind, that it might not be the best game, but hey, they're offering it for free, and good on Ubisoft for donating some money to help with the restoration of the Notre Dame. Next up, and this is kind of just another PSA type of article that we've kind of gone through before already, but Overwatch is currently free until the 23rd, which is actually quite a while now. It's until next Tuesday as of the recording of this podcast as well, or whatever. And so, it's actually one of the longest, I think, free to play, quote unquote, weeks that's ever had. Basically, the game will be free on PC, PS4, or Xbox One from today until April 23rd, which is pretty good or whatever. The free trial includes every hero, includes every map. You can level up your character. It basically is like you have a free account. There should be no limitations to it. So if you guys haven't played Overwatch, or if you're thinking about dabbling in it and trying it out, it is currently free. Side note too, the game, as always, is conveniently, which is obviously something that they've done on purpose, it is conveniently on sale until April 29th in the Blizzard shop. I think it is 51% off for the normal edition, 78% off the usual price. For console players, Xbox and PlayStation 4 versions are discounting the Legendary Edition to around $20, while participating retailers have cut the price of Overwatch Game of the Year edition. So overall, it's pretty cheap when it comes to just the actual game itself. And so if you guys want to, you guys can basically just play the full game until the 23rd, and then you have about 6 days after that, or almost a week after that, to really experience and you want to decide play the game. You can buy it for half off, which is a pretty good deal in my opinion. Side note, thank you Seth Star for the 5 bits as always. Hope you guys like the new Twitch bit badges that we have as well in the chat, because we got new bit badges for everything. I hand drew the original ones myself, so thank you for the 5 cents, appreciate it. But yeah, so keep that in mind. Also, there is a new event in Overwatch as well, so they timed it really well with this new kind of event, which has some pretty cool PvE stuff as well, if you guys ever want to check that out. Next up, and this is kind of, I think, going to be the last article. The other article we had wasn't that interesting, but a Fortnite pro was dropped from a team after a cheat maker turns him in. I thought that this was really, really interesting or whatever. But there's a $30 million prize for the Fortnite World Cup. If you guys didn't know this, we covered this, but there is a tournament going on called the Fortnite World Cup where anyone can enter the tournament from various places. And apparently the prize pool is up $30 million. But Jonathan Kozmala, a professional player representing Team Cavalier, was dropped by the organizations. He said that we have released Jonathan from our Fortnite team. We're in a shock that he was cheating during the World Cup qualifiers. The violation is serious, and we have ended our relationship with him. If you guys didn't know, the thing with the Fortnite Cup qualifiers is that there are online qualifiers, and then there's going to be an in-person event that is going to happen in New York. So the problem with online qualifiers with any game is that you can have stream sniping, you have people in the call to help you, you can have bots as well. And that's one of the things that this guy was utilizing, bots essentially to aimbot and to see people through walls and stuff like that. It says that his intentions were not to cheat in the video game and have fun looking for a stream star and prompt to win money and scam other people who are playing legitimately. He says at that point it just comes down to morals. He continues. But yeah, it's very interesting because the way he got exposed was that somebody who owns a Fortnite, I guess, botting software, which is able for you to look through walls, makes you better at auto aiming and stuff like that, was ended up exposing him. Who paid him through PayPal apparently $60 for this botting software, and funny enough, used his real name, didn't use an alternative account and stuff like that as well, and also messaged him numerous times on Discord about how to get the bot working and stuff like that. So if you guys want to check out that video, it is in your show notes. It's very lengthy. It's about 17 minutes or so, but the bot essentially just shows like a big red box around players, and as long as you have your cursor on that red box and click right, you're able to shoot and kill them. So it makes it definitely easier for people to aim and less judge where how things are going and stuff like that. They said in the video you can see that CBV is using a cheat that highlights player locations even through walls. He also claims that he gave a refund for purchasing his cheats, with CBV charged $60 for it. The video goes on to showcase interactions and social media messages between the player and the cheat maker. So I think the thing is that he didn't really care that the guy was cheating, but what ended up happening was that he was a pretty big professional player and known. And from what I understand, which I apologize for my latest thing, but the pro player did end up buying the cheating software, utilizing it for a bit, and then refunding the cheat maker on PayPal. And I think because of that or whatever, he ended up like just refunding, or he ended up like quote unquote exposing him and stuff like that. So yeah. Epic Games said that the integrity of Fortnite competition is important to us. An Epic Games spokesperson said, we actively monitor all official competitions across a wide range of metrics, and all winners are subjected to additional monitoring for various forms of cheating, with thorough investigations taking place for any World Cup qualifying members. We'll be releasing a game integrity blog later this week detailing our ongoing and future efforts. So, unfortunately, cheating in just free-to-play games like this is very hard because people can just make new accounts and stuff like that. But I mean, Fortnite, Apex Legends, they come out with a patch to try to throw out the botting, then the botting comes back, and then just like back and forth is what ends up happening with the game. So, yeah, they ended up catching this guy though, and he ended up just not, he's not going to be able to compete, obviously, and stuff like that. We'll end up seeing, what the integrity blog comes out with, but unfortunately he was caught, and it's kind of interesting. It's just an interesting way of how he was caught. If he was just caught through regular means, it would have been not a big deal at all. But yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out. That was going to be it for this episode of The Morning Coffee. But I hope that you guys did enjoy this episode. As always, you can check out this podcast on Spotify and iTunes. You can also check us out on Twitch, Twitter, or Instagram at Ryan Kubo. That is RyanKubo. Or you can check us out on YouTube if you ever want to check out VODs as well at SHIGEOS Twitch TV. That's Shigeos Twitch TV if you ever want to check out any of the VODs for the episode and stuff as well. Also, we did make playlists and collections for all of the past episodes as well on my Twitch. So if you ever want to and go and check out my Twitch, give it a follow. But then also you can check out the VODs on Twitch if you ever wanted to watch an episode and stuff there. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, we will catch you guys next week on Tuesday for the next episode of The Morning Coffee. Anyway, guys, take care.